The Acts of the Apostles, chapter 27. And when it was determined that we should sail into Italy, they delivered Paul and certain other prisoners unto one named Julius, a centurion of Augustus's band. And entering into a ship of Adramyttium, we launched, meaning to sail by the coasts of Asia. One Aristarchus, a Macedonian of Thessalonica, being with us. And the next day we touched at Sidon, and Julius courteously entreated Paul, and gave him liberty to go unto his friends and to refresh himself. These people just do not care about these Jews hunting them down. Like, they need to make some civil rights or something. I don't know. And when we had launched from thence, we sailed under Cyprus, because the winds were contrary. And when we had sailed over the sea of Cilicia and Pamphylia, we came to Myra, a city of Lycia. Oh, I guess they're in Greece. Sounds like it. Isn't that Cilicia? Isn't that Paul of Tarsus? But then he kept saying, I'm from Cilicia. So that maybe that's Greece. I don't even know. And there, the centurion found a ship of Alexandria sailing into Italy, and he put us therein. I guess you go from Jerusalem to Greece, and then you go to Italy. You'll stop off. Well, that's nice. He got to see his friends in Greece. And when we had sailed slowly many days and scarce were come over against Cnidus, the wind not suffering us, we sailed into Crete over against Salmone. And hardly passing it came unto a place which is called the Fair Heavens, nigh whereunto was the city of Lasea. Now, when much time was spent, and when sailing was now dangerous, because the fast was already past, Paul admonished them, and said unto them, Sirs, I perceive that this voyage will be with hurt and much damage. Oh, is this going to be Paul's shipwreck part? Not only of the lading and ship, but also of our lives. Nevertheless, the centurion believed that the master and owner of the ship more than those things which were spoken by Paul. It's going to crash, huh? And because the haven was not commodious to winter in, the more part advised to depart thence also, if by any means they might attain to Phoenix. That must be Venice, right? Phoenix. And there to winter, which is an haven of Crete. What? Now we're back in Greece. This is why I'm going to get involved with this. I have no idea. And lieth toward the southwest and northwest. And when the south wind blew softly, supposing that they had obtained their purpose, loosing thence, they sailed close by Crete. But not long after, there arose again against it a tempestuous wind called Euroclydon. Oh my gosh, there's a wind called Euroclydon? This is interesting, because I know in Arabia, there's like 5 billion names for the winds. And like some of them are like, like Scirocco, like is it Jetta a wind? I don't know, but they're Volkswagens. But like, yeah, they do that. There's like I saw some show talk about Iran to Persia the other day, and it's talking about how they're just so luxurious and they're just so eloquent. They're known to be so eloquent. They love luxury, right? And then I'm reading about how they would explain this to people, how they're just so eloquent. They'd say, "What is the word for this?" And it wasn't the one I'm always on, which is wind, which is because I know if you live in the desert, you're going to have like a million different names for the different types of wind. But I've never heard of wind. This might be something, I definitely have to look it up, but I'm wondering, is it kind of like something, like a demon kind of thing? Like a Baal type, like storm god wind type thing, right? So I never heard the Bible say the wind was called anything until just now. So Euroclydon, it's a tempestuous wind called Euroclydon, right? And we've never heard of that. We've never heard of a Euroclydon, right? So I think it might be a demon. And when the ship was caught and could not bear up into the wind, we let her drive. And running under a certain island, which is called Clauda, we had much work to come by the boat, which when they had taken up, they used helps undergirding the ship, and fearing lest they should fall into the quicksands, strake sail, and so were driven. Ew, there's quicksand in Greece? Oh, that's terrible. How's that possible? Like, it's an island, right? It's like a volcano. It has to be like hard rock, right? Where's this quicksand coming from? Maybe just the shore? That's weird. Quicksand, it says, oh my gosh. And we being exceedingly tossed with a tempest, the next day they lightened the ship. So they probably threw stuff off. And the third day we cast out with our own hands the tackling of the ship. And when neither sun nor stars in many days appeared, and no small tempest lay on us, all hope that we should be saved was then taken away. Oh, you don't see the sun or the stars in many days? What in the world? I guess it's just blackness, huh? Just blackness. Oh. But long after abstinence, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, Sirs, ye should have hearkened unto me, and not have loosed from Crete, and to have gained this harm and loss. And now I exhort you to be of good cheer. Oh, thanks. For there shall be no loss of any man's life among you, but of the ship. Oh, okay. For there stood by me this night the angel of God, whose I am, and whom I serve, saying, Fear not, Paul, thou must be brought before Caesar. Oh, okay, maybe we can go back to 26 and understand what he means. Then said Agrippa unto Festus, this man might have been set at liberty if he had not appealed unto Caesar. So Agrippa would have just set him free. But he's going to the highest law of the land, which he needs to, because if he doesn't straighten this out, it will not get straightened out at any point. And he's going for civil rights, to have these people stop trying to murder them. And so he has to, on behalf of everybody. But look what that's what it means. See, he would have let him go. He doesn't care. That's what it meant. All right. And even because God's telling him too, thou must be brought before Caesar. This is Jesus. But it's not in red. But it is, right? It's Jesus talking. Because it's going to be him again. It's not somebody else, the angel of God. It's going to be Jesus, because Jesus is the one appearing to him, probably. I'd say like 99%. He said, "Fear not, Paul, that thou must be brought before Caesar, and lo, God hath given thee all them that sail with thee." He says, nobody's going to die. Don't worry about it. No death. So now he's telling them, don't worry. You should have listened to me, but now we're okay. But nobody's going to die now, but, let's keep going. I got to go to Caesar. All right. "Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer, for I believe God that it shall be even as it was told me. Howbeit we must be cast upon a certain island. But when the 14th night was come, as we were driven up and down in Adria, about midnight, the shipmen deemed that they drew near to some country, and sounded, and found it 20 fathoms. And when they had gone a little further, they sounded again, and found it 15 fathoms. Then, fearing lest we should have fallen upon rocks, they cast 4 anchors out of the stern, and wished for the day. And as the shipmen were about to flee out of the ship, when they had let down the boat into the sea under color, as though they would have cast anchors out of the foreship, Paul said to the centurion and to the soldiers, Except these abide in the ship, ye cannot be saved. Then the soldiers cut off the ropes of the boat and let her fall off. And while the day was coming on, Paul besought them all to take meat, saying, This day is the 14th day that ye have tarried and continued fasting, having taken nothing. Why are they, I don't know why they're fasting like this. Oh, because they're prisoners. I think so. But where's Paul getting this meat? Okay, let's see what happens. "Wherefore I pray you to take some meat, for this is for your health, for there shall not an hair fall from the head of any of you." Wow. And when he had thus spoken, he took bread and gave thanks to God in presence of them all. And when he had broken it, he began to eat. Then were they all of good cheer, and they also took some meat, and we were in all the ship 260 souls. 276. I'm gonna have to stop this news just